Hello everyone and welcome to another game I'm Ptcgo. So as you can see, I'm favored to lose this match, which is unfortunate. And you can probably tell I'm playing a Garchomp Altaria. So I played this match last week. It's the first time I've played this deck and played a few matches with it. Now, this one I think ended up being an interesting one. So I'm going to start off with a Gible. I will Hypnotoxic Laser here. My opponent starts off with Absol, so this could be a Team Plasma deck or something with Darkrai, Yveltal, and company. It's kind of hard to tell. Either way, I don't like my odds. I'd prefer to go up against Team Plasma. And it looks like this is a Garbodor deck. My opponent Ultra Balls for a Trubbish, puts it down, attaches a Floatstone, plays down a Virbank City Gym, a Muscle Band, and then Junipers. So they're running through the deck very quickly. And now I see an Sableye, an Enhanced Hammer, and a regular Yveltal, and then we see a switch into Sableye, Hypnotoxic Laser, and that was a really explosive start for my opponent. So I'm not too happy. And they're going to junk hunt for a hammer and a laser, so I have only a blend energy in hand. Kind of tells me I shouldn't play it. I'm going to level ball here for a Gabite, play it down, so I can start using Dragon Call. I won't have much time to use it if my opponent can evolve into Garbodor, so I'm hoping that that won't happen soon. But in the meantime, I will Dragon Call for a Gabite, put it down on the bench, and I'm just going to end my turn. It's worthless to attach an energy because my opponent can just Enhance Hammer it away, and I don't have a supporter, unfortunately. So now we see a second laser from my opponent, and this is a pretty bad start on my behalf. All I can really hope for is hoping that I get a supporter, essentially. I don't do that, but I do get another Gabite. I'm going to use that to Dragon Call here. So I'm going to get both a Garchomp and a Gabite. So first, I think I'll take the Gabite and put that down on the bench. My big concern here is that once a Garbodor comes into play, I won't be able to use that ability. So it's really important to set up these guys early and often. I'm going to evolve my active into Garchomp, attach a blend energy, and now I can actually mock cut for 80 and the knockout here on Sableye and take the prize lead, surprisingly, despite my not so great start. My opponent's going to promote Yveltal, and he benches an Yveltal EX, so that's not great. It doesn't really take that much for him, or for Yveltal specifically, to one-shot a Garchomp, and now we see a Garbodor. So now my deck became infinitely worse. We see the Enhance Hammer and then a Bicycle. Since I can only hit for 60 with my first attack, and that really doesn't do much. My opponent's going to Colress, get a Darkness Energy, and then attach it to his active, so he'll be able to attach a Darkness Energy to his bench Yveltal. So here I'm going to play Landorus. I like playing Landorus in this type of a deck, just because it's a quick attacker, and it can go without abilities, and it's an EX. They come in handy sometimes here. So I'm going to play Hypnotoxic Laser and just end my turn. Fortunately, the coin flip ends up that my opponent is asleep, so that can buy me some time here. Hopefully, my opponent will attach a DCE onto his bench Yveltal, and now we're going to see a Professor's Letter getting 2 Darkness Energies into the hand, and then we just see my opponent end his turn. So here I get a Rescue Scarf. I will attach it to the active. Unfortunately, I can't attack because I don't have any energy, and I still haven't hit a supporter. So I'm doing really bad. And now my opponent will Oblivion Wing, attaching 1 more energy onto Absol this time. And here I finally managed to top deck an energy. I get Fighting Energy. I'm going to put it on Landorus. Play this Escape Rope. So Yveltal was about to be knocked out from the poison, so I'll just promote Landorus. Hammerhead, the active Yveltal, he just promoted for 10 because of resistance, and knock out the benched Yveltal, and take my second prize that way. So that's the bad part about Landorus in this match. Yveltal does have resistance to fighting type. My opponent's going to play a Dark Patch onto Absol, attach an energy onto his Yveltal, and then hit me for 80. I get a Gabite, and I can evolve that. Here I'm debating whether or not I should play an Escape Rope to see what he'll send up, to see if he can potentially knock it out. He sends up Absol, and I'm going to send up Garchomp, and then just N. I'm fortunate enough to get a Garchomp off that N. I will evolve here. Now it's all going to be down to manually evolving without the aid of Dragon Call. With Level Ball here, I mean, it's pretty useless to go for Swablu since abilities are off. I do play two Tool Scrappers, but I really have had terrible luck with supporters. So I'm just going to attach a Fighting Energy and Mach Cut here, knowing very well that my opponent will get the return knockout. So we see another Trubbish hit the bench, and then a DC attached to Yveltal. And my opponent takes his first prize, but the momentum is fastly shifting in his favor. Here I can evolve into Gabite. Just important to keep this string going. I'll put down another Gible, and then N, and I managed to get the Tool Scrapper. So this is going to be pretty helpful here. I'll get rid of the tool on Garbodor and get rid of this Muscle Band on Absol. I'll be able to take the knockout on Absol and hit Yveltal on the bench for 30 because resistance does not apply to bench Pokemon, so that's pretty great here, or at least in Hammerhead's attacks specifically. But now my opponent can actually just get the knockout. He has enough energy on this Yveltal to knock out Landorus, which is kind of unfortunate, and he is already powering up a fresh one. He will end me down to 3, but I am fortunate enough to draw a supporter off that, and we see a Floatstone on Garbodor, so abilities are off yet again. This is not too good. I will promote Garchomp. I did get that fighting energy off the N to 3, so attaching it here will actually be useful. My opponent left a DCE on his active, so had he used Y-Cyclone, he could have got that off and saved it, but he didn't, so I'm going to take advantage and Mach Cut that energy away. But first I'm going to Super Rod Landorus and Fighting Energies back in, play the Colress, and I'm going to Mach Cut for 60, but I do get rid of that DCE, sort of limiting what my opponent can do. My opponent gets out a second Garbodor here, so there's no way I'll be able to completely get rid of those bags of trash. And he then goes for a random receiver, revealing a Juniper. So he might play it, but first he's going to play a Laser. And I am asleep. So now I get the same treatment I gave my opponent earlier. I will play a Fighting Energy on Gabite. And here I'm going to play an Ultra Ball to get a Garchomp or a Landorus. I could go for that as well, but I decided to go for Garchomp. I'm going to evolve a Gabite, and then I will play this Escape Rope to see what he sends up. I do have that Hypnotoxic Laser in hand, so I will definitely be using it this turn, depending on what he sends up. And he sends up Buffalon, so I can't knock it out, but using a Laser will sort of pressure my opponent since he doesn't have energy on Buffalon at all. And now I will play down a Juniper, and I draw that Landorus. I will evolve into another Gabite, and I will play a Rescue Star on the active Garchomp. So I'm sort of happy I play that tool here, just because I'm now evolving without the aids of abilities. And my opponent is 10 short of the knockout, so if he can't retreat, Buffalon will get knocked out going into at the end of his turn, which is kind of what I wanted. We see a dark patch and then a bicycle, so he adds another energy onto Yveltal, but takes it back, and that would have brought it up to 4. He may attach it, well, he reattaches it, and then we see a Dowsing Machine. So maybe this goes for a Floatstone to retreat the active, and he actually goes for an N. So he's going to NS both down to 3. And I like this hand a lot less than the last, but I did get that Tool Scrapper, so that might be useful here. He gets a Floatstone, retreats onto Yveltal, and is down to 2 prizes. So I am sort of up against the wall here. We'll evolve into Garchomp, and then attach a Fighting Energy. I sent one into the active. I will attach a Rescue Scarf, bench a Gabite, and here I can't knock him out, but I will scrapper away the tools just so I can get a bit of extra damage, and I can use Dragon Call here to get a Garchomp, so I'll be able to evolve that Gabite next turn, or actually evolve it this turn, just in case. And once abilities are off, if he gets another tool, that'll be useful. And I get to Mach Cut that energy away. So you see a Muscle Band go on Garbodor, and once again, abilities are off. I do play a Dowsing Machine, so I could potentially get that Tool Scrapper back. And my opponent mentions another Yveltal, attaches a DCE, and this time he's going to use Y Cyclone for the knockout, moving energy to his freshly benched Yveltal. So now I'm going to send up another Garchomp. I attach a Rescue Scarf onto a Gabite, play down Gible, and then just Juniper my hand away. Here I get a Fighting Energy. I will attach it to a Garchomp, and I also get a Super Rod. I'll get back a Fighting Energy, a Gabite, and another Fighting Energy. I figure those will be useful here. Now Mach Cut for 60, and my opponent can't get the knockout here, I don't think. There's not enough energy. I hope he can't get more here, and if he retreats to anything, it can't knock me out. But if he has another DCE, this could happen. I don't think he does, though. So he's going to retreat, sensing that his Yveltal's in danger, into a fresh one that I won't be able to knock out. But what I can do here is retreat and attack with a different one, doing the same thing he's doing with me. I played on a Colress. I'm going to retreat this active manually, and then go into this Garchomp with no damage. So this way I can actually hit him, discard his energy, and hopefully slow him down with no DCEs in play. I think his deck will slow down considerably, and I'm going to Dowsing Machine here. I could go for the Tool Scrapper, but instead I'm going to go for the Hypnotoxic Laser. So this will really put my opponent under the gun, and basically tell him you have to do something, or else this active Yveltal is going to fall. And here I'm going to Mach Cut for 60, getting rid of that DCE, but my opponent takes 30 in between turns. So here he can attack with his active, but he also needs to consider retreating it. We see a failed Ultra Ball search and then an N, and my opponent just passes. So it does look like he's running out of energy, and he has no Sableye left, or no space to play it, so I'm happy about that. I'm going to play a Level Ball for a Gabite, and here just Mach Cut again, this time getting a knockout, and now we're tied here at 1 prize apiece. So this has turned around. My opponent is going to send up Yveltal, but I do have an energy on the Landorus, so next turn I can just retreat into it and win the game that way. But he does play the laser, and I fortunately do not fall asleep, so my plan will work here. I can just manually retreat this Garchomp and hit the benched Boufflant. So this is a pretty close game, and certainly not a favorable matchup at all, But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you guys all for your likes and commentary. I will get to your comments soon.